revitalization planning process. How many, by show of hands, how many of you were here at our meeting in May? We were here, right here in the same place on May 8th. And so thank you for coming back, and for those of you who are with us for the first time, you'll hear more about what we did at that meeting, and some of you may have seen some of that already anyway. But you'll learn more about that and be able to provide us your feedback on some information that you'll hear tonight as well. My name is Inga Kennedy, and I'm a part of the APD consulting team. You'll hear more about them and meet them here in a minute. But just a couple of housekeeping things that we want to go over before we get started. Did everyone get a chance to sign in? We've got a lot of access points here to the building, and we want to thank the Art Trail Gallery for allowing us to host this meeting. It's a beautiful place for a meeting, and then you get a chance to see some beautiful art. So it's a very, very nice and inviting surrounding. Thank you so much. But if you didn't have a chance to sign in, once I stop, I'll come by and pass out the sign-in sheet so you can do that. The other thing that goes along with signing in is a comment form. And for those of you who would like to provide written comments to us tonight, that comment form is available. Please use it. We prefer to get your comments tonight. However, if you like to think about it, and some people like to sleep over things, there's a way to send it back in to us via mail, or you can email it to us, or you can fax it to us. All of that information is at the bottom of that comment form. So that's the comment form. And then very importantly, I see some of you have started to partake in the refreshments that are available. And so we want to, since we're bringing you out here at dinner time, we want to make sure that you have some refreshments, and it is a warm evening. So thank you so much. And please, at any time, feel free to move forward. I'd like to have Drew come over, the manager, and give us some welcome remarks, and then we'll go right into our presentation and acknowledge some people.
All right. Sounds great. Like Inga, I want to welcome you here tonight. The effort that the city is putting forward is really an effort that is long overdue. It is an effort that is new. It is an effort that we hope will create a new Florence. And we believe that it can create a new Florence in multitudes of ways. It can make our environment, the environment that we live in, better. It can cause neighborhoods that have been declining over a long period of time to be reinvested. It will be able to create safe neighborhoods. But as important as all that, it hopefully will bridge this community, and it will make this community whole in ways that it has not been whole in the past. It is very important for this city to move forward, for it to be diverse, for it to have opportunity for all, for it to create the environment for economic development, for us to attract industry that looks for diverse and exciting places to live. This effort is really it's very emotional for me. Which kind of surprised me. I have worked in this community for 25 years. I have seen the lack of opportunity for our community for 25 years. I see this, along with downtown, a way for us to become the community that all of us want to be. That is what this effort is about. And I'm going to push personally as hard as I can. And I feel very strongly that the City Council supports very same goals that you are. Hopefully, we're going to be coming out of a long-term recession. Hopefully, this is the opportunity for us to take advantage of that and to move, like I said, to move us forward. With that, I'm starting to get a long way. So, I did see Councilman Robertson here. Ed, would you like to make a statement?
Good afternoon, everybody. I do think this is a good start from what has been elected for. There are some concerns that I have.
I believe that you always have to start somewhere to get anywhere. I believe this is a start. I believe that even with $3 million to start with, is seed money to bring others in. Because if you don't put some money forth, who do you expect else to put money in? So we have seed money. And as we're developing, when we get a target project, the money will not have to wait for 3 years. We can get the money now to work with. So we have it available. But what we need to do is just what we're doing now. Meet together, get our ideas together, and our consultants lead us the way and direct us where we should go. And being a nurse, I always say this: when you have a medical problem, you want a doctor who specializes in what your problem is. So to me, these consultants are our doctors. So they're looking at our situation, they're evaluating the situation, and they're giving us a partial diagnosis already. And now they're getting ready to give us a treatment plan. So I will tell everyone, hang in there, see what these doctors are telling us to do, and let's do it with good faith. Because with anything, you have to initiate faith. When you're traveling along, you might make mistakes, but the thing is, when you get down, get up and go on. So have a good afternoon. Looking forward to seeing you done.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Jesse, are you done?
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing good. Had some snacks, something to drink.
Yes.
I'm going to take some time just to introduce the rest of the team. My name is Glenda Matute, and I am the project coordinator for APD Urban Planning Management. Warren Campbell, on the right, is the project manager for this project, and Mr. Wiles is the president of our company. And you've met Inga Kennedy, who's also helping us with the public engagement piece. All I'm going to do is go give you an overview of what we'll be discussing today. Raise your hand in the back if you can't hear me. I'm really soft-spoken, so I need to yell at you. I'm sorry, at the people in the front here. So Inga will give a short overview of what we heard in the first public meeting, a few of the comments, so that some of you who weren't here can hear what we heard during the first public meeting, and to make sure we got everything from that meeting and we know what we've heard and that it was the correct thing. Warren will give you an overview of what we've been doing in the last 2 months. We've been looking at projects within the neighborhoods, seeing what opportunities and strengths are within the 3 neighborhoods, and what are the short-term things that we can take advantage of. He will also be reviewing how we'll be making decisions moving forward, what projects we'll be able to move forward in the short term, and those that can be moving forward in the long term. Mr. Wiles will give you an overview of the market analysis. We have a market analysis team that has been working the last few months just to understand what the market is like within the 3 neighborhoods. They've given us a brief overview of what that is, and Mr. Wiles will be reviewing that with you. And we've also developed some initial proposed programs that we think will be beneficial for all 3 neighborhoods, and Mr. Wiles will be going over that with you guys as well. Inga?
Okay. Thank you so much. And for those of you who, a lot of you have been engaged in this for a long time, and Drew mentioned that a lot of you have been engaged for a long time. For those of you who are coming in, I don't think what you're going to hear is anything new in terms of what concerns and issues are relative to this process, because it's things that you've told us, but it's also things that you've told the city, it's things you've told your elected officials, it's things you've discussed in your own community organizations and events. So I'd like to go through this, and we'll kind of talk through it and then we'll go through a series of the presentation and then come back and talk to you. Just a few things about that are overwhelmingly popular and overwhelmingly that have consensus with the community. And that is, one is it's important to preserve and protect historic resources. People are adamant that they want to protect their community, the resources that are there. They want to build on the foundation of those resources as anything new development and any revitalization occurs. The protection and preservation of historic resources and your community's histories are very, very important to the community. Then, as we move into how the older communities have declined and all of the activity that takes place in the community, safety is an important issue. We've met a lot of you who have generations of families who were born and grew up and built in this community. You want to be able to remain there. You want to invite other family members back. But somewhere along the way, some of the decline has happened, and safety has become a very real concern for people as the revitalization is starting to occur and as the community has continued to move forward. So we have that at the top of the list as a major concern of the communities. A third thing is that the revitalization, whatever that looks like, whatever the revitalization looks like, and that's why we're here, and you're going to hear more about how that is progressing and how that too is moving forward. You want it to have minimal impact on existing residents, especially those who are homeowners and especially the elderly. In other words, it translates into not being displaced. You don't want people to be displaced in the name of revitalization. You want the revitalization to occur within and around what is already there. So that is another issue. There is also issue then with that in stabilizing the community. You want to stabilize the community with restoration projects and where there's opportunity and where there's need to assist homeowners to be able to maintain their properties and keep their properties as we move forward with the revitalization. The other thing that is also related to, and we always hear this, and it's always related to safety, is to improve the overall environment, including sidewalks, street lighting. You want nice trees, but you want them maintained and trimmed and neat and cut back so there isn't the opportunity to have activities around them. But if you ride through these neighborhoods, for those of you who are not as familiar with these neighborhoods, ride through these neighborhoods, and there are some beautiful trees. That is one of the major assets of your neighborhoods, is that those trees have grown up with you. So the trees have grown up with the people who've grown up and been born and moved through the neighborhood. Improving the overall environment, and that will certainly improve safety. The discussions were categorized into three general areas of concern when we were here. Problem, vacant, and abandoned properties. Again, that relates to your environment. It also relates to the safety issue that you brought up to us. So abandoned properties and properties that have been vacant and allowed to decline are things that you want to see addressed. Again, the protection of historic locations. And then there are infrastructure concerns. Infrastructure meaning some of the problems related to drainage. A lot of you have pointed out areas where flooding might be a problem. Infrastructure also relates to the lighting, and we have that down on paper. I have to be honest with you, coming through, and we always like to see neighborhoods at night. And our first phase of meeting was during the daylight saving, not daylight saving, it was not the regular time. So we were getting out of our meetings at night. And some of the neighborhoods were dark. They were really dark. The lighting was, you know, what we would categorize as poor. And so that's an infrastructure concern as well. So we want to make sure that we heard you on that. But what happened during our discussion, and what is growing into consensus from this process is that the discussions that we've had with you as a group, we've also had discussions in our previous phases with individual neighborhoods. We've also had discussions with individuals. And there is definitely consensus that the goals brought forward from our previous effort are specifically aligned with what we heard during our last meeting. And those are issues of infrastructure, vacant and abandoned buildings, and things that lead to code enforcement needs. Neighborhood improvement efforts must take into consideration, again, the existing residents. We want to make sure that we iterate that and reiterate that, because that's what you've told us, including affordability, homeowner rehabilitation, restoration of historic property, stabilization and capacity building for you to carry on as this process moves through. So those are the themes. We call them common themes. It's consensus. It's what we hear from you every time we talk with you. So we're not going to ask you anymore.